my memory I will always see. Charlestown that I have loved so well, where we played half-ball by the old Wiggy's wall, watched movies at the Hippie under the elm.
Hi, and welcome to Charlestown and Beyond. I'm Kathy Cookie Giordano, your host, and it's really my pleasure to be back here with you this week. My guest this week is a very special friend of mine and such a talented man. So I'm going to get right into it and introduce to you our very own author, Tom McDonald. Welcome, Tom.
Thanks, Cookie.
It's so good to have you here today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
And here you are, you have your 4th book just being released.
Yeah, this is my 4th crime novel, and they're all set in Charlestown. And this one's called Murder in the Charlestown Bricks. And it's the same protagonist, Dermot Sparhawk. And so, it just came out. So it's out there on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and libraries can get it. So it just came out.
It is out there at Amazon because the minute my brother heard about it, he went on Amazon and got it. So he got it ahead of me, and he's deep into it. He loves these books. Now, this is the 4th, as you said, and the first one was The Charlestown Connection, Beyond the Bridge, and then The Revenge of Liam McGrew.
Yes.
And they all lead up to what Dermot is doing now.
Yes, yeah. Dermot, this is, they call it a series character, so that the same character is the main character in each book. And in this book, Dermot is a woman that he grew up with that was kind of his, almost like his, took care of him when his mother died, gets murdered in the projects, the Charlestown Bricks. So he is, he is really wants to find out who did this.
Oh, God. Now, as an author, there are different ways of writing a book. Dermot is the narrator. How did you come up with this way to do it? Yeah,
well, it's told in most of the book is told in the first person point of view, and the strength of that type of storytelling is that the reader can really get inside the head of the main character. Okay. So you get all his, in this case, all his internal thoughts, and what he thinks about everything. And so the downside of it is that Dermot has to be in every scene because he's also the narrator of the book. So, but I thought that, and I got this just really from the reading I did growing up from Raymond Chandler and Robert Parker, and these guys told it in the first person narrative, so I just kind of imitated them.
Well, it makes it so very understandable too. You don't get lost in the shuffle with different names.
Right, yeah.
Which is good. Now, let me ask you a question. With Dermot Sparhawk and the other characters in the book, are they related to anyone that you knew in real life? Do you copy their characters and their personalities?
I think that Dermot is one model I use for the storytelling is Joseph Campbell's, you call it Hero's Journey, where the hero is challenged and he kind of steps into the abyss, doesn't know what's going on, and has to find the answers, and there's usually threats along the way. So really, he's just kind of like an idealized man, if you will, flawed, but in his mind, some kind of knight in shining armor that wants to save the day, and he needs this. He was in his earlier life, he was a all-American football player, got his knee broken, and so he kind of was looking for a purpose in life, and this is what he ends up doing.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That is good. Now, you don't come from Charlestown, but yet, reading your words, you would think that you grew up there. How do you know about the inner secrets of Charlestown and the wares, the spots, and the tone of the town? You really capture it.
Thanks. That's That's a great compliment. Thank you, Cookie. Well, I'm very lucky. I work in Charlestown full-time. I run Harvest and Vine Food Pantry, and so we have, roughly 600 families in our database that we serve. But we also have about 100 volunteers that volunteer. So I'm right in the middle of everyone down there. So I think that, and people in Charlestown, even if they're not volunteering, they're huge supporters. So I'm meeting with people, they help out with donations, they buy food, they donate money. So you really start to get to know people. And so probably just by osmosis, I kind of picked up on that.
Well, yeah, you really are very well thought of in Charlestown, and I am sure just through your normal day, people would be telling you stories about the town. I know that I have, had the pleasure to go down there on a Tuesday morning when some of the volunteers are gathering and listening to the hometown stories from years back, and it is so enjoyable. So you would be picking up on this, but you just go into your storytelling like, you know every corner of Charlestown. You know the people. You know the good and the bad, and where to go and where not to go. You just capture it.
Well, thanks. I mean, I'll tell you, in Charlestown, people are so generous. They've been, I think the day I worked there, I said, geez, I'm home. It just was, people welcome me, and and you hear the stories, and you can use some of it. It's all made up stuff that it's all fiction, but you can use some of it, and especially the dialogue. And so I think it does make it seem like a realistic.
It really does.
The story could really have happened in Charlestown.
Yes, it really does. And then when you venture across the bridge and go into Boston too, the same thing. And your other travels with Spearhawk.
Yeah.
It seems like you've known each little corner.
Well, I lived in Dorchester for years, and I coached Pop Warner football in Dorchester. And the thing with that, when you're coaching, you get to know all the parents.
Yes.
So that was kind of a nice resource too. And so I try to include the whole city in the stories.
And it's true too. No matter what neighborhood in Boston you come from, we have all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same good and the same bad and the same wonderful and the really special places to go to, and so that's true. We are one big neighborhood, one big city.
We are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you really do capture that, Tom. So, what do you think of Spearhawk? What is he going to get into now as he continues through this book? I don't want you to give away what's going on in this book. But where do you see him going with your 10th novel and so on?
I don't know yet, Cookie, but in this book, he really, I wanted to challenge him, so he really, he's a guy that has ideals. He has things, kind of a code he likes to live by. And these really get challenged in this story because he wants to find out what happened, and he starts really pushing it and breaking the law to find out. And he starts doing things that he wouldn't usually do. And he falls in love in this book. And, I won't give anything away there. So that's throwing him off, too.
I was wondering when there'd be a romantic, person here. Well, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah, I think that, with Dermot, I think, basically he's a loner. So when these things, like a romantic interest comes in, more than anything, it throws him off.
Yeah.
And, he's trying to, work with his feelings and at the same time, keep things balanced. And he doesn't do it real well, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would assume that his feelings towards this woman that raised him was so deep, and that is why he wants to solve this crime, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he really loved her, in the story, when he was a boy, his mother died, and this woman was kind of his, his neighbor that raised him, so he didn't end up in a foster home or an orphanage, and so he really, he loved her.
Yeah.
He really loved her, and he feels a real obligation, almost at any cost, to find out what happened. And that drive to do that he makes some bad decisions along the way.
Wow, I can't
Yeah.
wait to
Yeah.
read this one. This is
Yeah, he messes up in this one.
wow.
Yeah.
I hope he gets out of it, but don't tell me. Don't tell me. It's just fascinating. I know so many people have told me that they love your books and they can't wait for you to come out with the next one because they want to continue this saga and find out what's next for Dermot. So this is great. Now, you're going to have an official book launching coming up soon. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be October 28th, Sunday, October 28th in the Navy Yard at noontime at the Navy Yard Bistro. And, you know, I looked it up, the Patriots aren't playing that day, so,
Good.
you know, it doesn't mess up any of the guys.
Good.
And it'll be from 12 to 3, and there'll be food, and, you know, John Moore is, he's the
He's a good
owner.
man.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
He's so generous to the food pantry. And so we're looking forward to a good time there.
So that's good. So the book will be available. You'll autograph them
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
And people will have a chance to get out and see some of their neighbors or meet new friends. Because I know you have people that are going to come from everywhere. And some of them very well known. And then some just like me that just think you're the greatest thing in the world, you and Mary Beth. So that is all good. But I really advise everybody to just show up that day. It's October 28th, Sunday. There's no football game on. And even if there is another game, the bistro has big TVs that you can
Yes.
watch
Yes.
anything you want.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't get totally into conversations, which you will with everyone else that's going to be there. And so the book will be on sale. You can get it autographed. And now, where is the Navy Yard Bistro in the Navy Yard?
Oh, boy.
It's right at the beginning of the
Yes,
Navy Yard?
it's right. When you come in gate 4, you have to take a left,
Take a
and then it's the very next left. And
Okay,
it's
on
right in there.
6th Street?
Yes, it is. It
Yes.
is 6th, and it's
Which
right
is
behind
right behind the main street there.
Yes.
So you grab and there's a variety store there on
Yes.
the main street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a 7-Eleven or something.
Yeah,
and,
so it's right behind,
right behind that.
Yeah. And it's really a lovely,
Oh,
lovely
it's a great
place.
spot, and
The food is great.
the food's great.
Yeah.
The whole thing is great.
And if it is a nice day, which it will be, of course, but if it's on the warm side, because you never know, there's tables and chairs outside.
Yeah,
you can go
John
out and
John takes care of everything. He sets
Yeah,
up tables,
yeah.
chairs, everything.
And you're able to get a glass of wine or a beer, and
Yep, whatever you
and
want.
along with your pickies that
Yeah.
you're going to be offering them.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be a great time all around.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, good! Congratulations on your
Thanks.
this
Thanks, Cookie.
newest book, and the best of luck. And
Thank you.
also, people, if you can't make it to the launching, you can get the book. As Tom said, it's Murder in the Charlestown Bricks, and you can get it on Amazon, at Barnes and Noble, Kindle, and most of your favorite bookstores. So get out there and get it. You're going to be the one that's going to be the winner when you get this book. And I know if you haven't purchased got to read his previous books, you're going to want to get them and get caught up to date and why Spearhawk is where he is today. So thank you for that, Tom.
Thanks.
Now I want to turn the page here, excuse the pun, and I want to talk about your other big activity. Well, there's two. You are a professor at Boston College, but your heart and soul operates at the Harvest on Vine Food Pantry in Hayes Square. And
Yes.
you're going to be coming up to an annual event down there pretty soon in November.
Yes, on November 20th, we'll be having a turkey basket giveaway distribution for the families we serve. And we usually have about 700 families attend that event, and we'll have 50 or 60 volunteers there giving out the food. And it's not, we get so much help with this.
Yes.
One of all the Charlestown comes together in this one, and you know, the Charlestown Mothers Association is a big part of it, and
St. Francis de Sales
St.
Church,
Francis
the
de Sales,
firefighters, the Knights of Columbus,
St. Mary, St.
You
Catherine's,
could list
all of them.
all of them, and it just
Yeah.
goes on. Yeah, the Historical Society, and the Co-op Bank down in Main Street
Yeah.
collects
Yeah.
food for you year round.
Yeah.
And all the wonderful volunteers you have from every walk of life.
Yeah.
They're down there, and they are just fantastic
Oh, they're
people.
great. They're great.
I've had the great pleasure of going down and meeting some of them, and it's just a great group of people.
Well, you're one of those great volunteers, Cookie. You really are. And people like you make our clients feel so welcome and loved, really, you know. And
That's the whole thing.
yeah, it is.
You know.
And they're coming through with their kids, and you know, it's a big day for us. And a lot of times we get support from. A lot of times a mayor comes and
Yes,
city councilors and
yes.
state rep and state
Yeah,
senator.
yeah.
It really, it makes you feel good. That,
It
you know,
does.
it
It
really
does. And they don't even politic while
No,
they're there.
no,
They
no.
just pitch in.
They
J.D.
just-
Ryan is in
yeah.
there giving out onions or whatever is there.
Yeah, they
he
roll
just
up their
digs right
sleeves.
in, yeah.
Yep.
And the rest of them, the mayor, and you know, it is so good to see them and how much they give to the Charlestown community in that way.
It's
Yeah.
really spectacular. Like people in offices, they'll have little challenges that if you
Yep.
raise some money, we'll
Yeah.
match it.
Yes.
And it just, so we get the, you know, we get the funding we need. And a great resource in this city is the Greater Boston Food Bank. I mean, they're tremendous.
Yes.
I'm already, I got the first order of turkeys I got yesterday, you know, so.
Oh, was that why the truck is in the parking lot?
Yes,
behind
yeah, we get that
Okay.
big freezer, and we'll gradually fill that up before Thanksgiving. So we'll get about 700 turkeys,
Isn't that amazing?
and we'll give them, you know, we'll give them all out.
I know last year they all went,
All went, yeah.
and you had a couple people come back the next day so you could
Yeah.
go to the store and buy them a turkey,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which was wonderful. And you know, sometimes people talk to me about it. Nah, these people, they're in it to get whatever they can get. I got to tell you, folks, these people need this. I mean, they are so genuine. They are so happy to get this. I haven't met a single person that was in there to get something for nothing. Nothing. These people really need this meal. They really need the food that they come to once a month at the food pantry and get a gallon of milk, a chicken, a loaf of bread, canned goods, fresh vegetables. They are, and it is just so wonderful, Tom, that through you, all of this can happen, and it does happen.
Well, you know, I'm not trying to sound, I'm just the middleman. I mean, I know I am, and because the generosity of people, I can do it. You know, if I have the money, you know, I can do it, and that's a tribute to the community of Charlestown. And the real gift is what we receive from the clients.
Yes, it is.
That's the gift.
It really
you
is.
know,
They are so grateful. I'm running out of time here. So, okay, so the Thanksgiving dinner will be November 20th.
November 20th,
distribution.
2 o'clock. Yep.
Now, when can people go and register for it?
Okay,
Clients.
good question. The day after Veterans Day, I think that's November 13th. That's a Tuesday, and so that whole week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they come down my office in the basement of 49 Vine Street, which is the rectory, and sign up. We'll be signing people up down at the Mishawam
Oh, good.
Park.
So they go there to
They
the
go
office?
down there,
Yeah.
and also down at Charles Newtown.
Any requirements to be
No,
eligible?
just it shows that they're from Charlestown, that's all.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, how can people help? How can residents or businesses help to make sure that there's enough food to be given to these 700 families? What
Well-
can they do?
Well, they could donate. We usually have a little program that if you donate $35, that buys a basket of food.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
So some families, they'll donate $35. Others might give $105, say buy 3
oh,
baskets.
isn't that wonderful?
And
And they can
businesses do
send
that too.
those donations to Harvest on Vine
Yeah.
at the Parish Center,
Yes,
46 Winthrop Street, Charlestown.
yes.
02129. And please let me mention that Harvest on the Vine is run by St. Mary, St. Catherine's Parish, and the pastor, Jim Ronan, oversees everything that goes on, and he is such a lucky man to have this guy next to me, being the director of the food pantry, and all the wonderful people who donate their time to make it all happen. So if anyone has a question for the Harvest on the Vine or about the book, here's Tom's phone number. It is 617-990-7314. I'm going to repeat it, 617-990-7314. 990-7314. But you can find Tom most days down at 49 Vine Street,
Yep.
the lower level of the rectory there. And he's there, and he's doing his job, and he does it quite well. Tom, I can't thank you enough. Is there something you want to mention that I didn't think to ask you?
No, Cookie, you covered it. This year, the Charlestown Mothers Association, we're kind of doing this drive this year in memory of Cheryl Bliss Waxman, who tragically passed on, at a young age. And she was kind of the person that got all the mothers involved to support the Thanksgiving drive and a fundraiser we have at the Nights in the spring. She did all this, and she left behind a husband and a son. So in her honor, we really want to do an A+ job this year.
What a wonderful, wonderful tribute to her. Well deserved.
Oh, she was great.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're just about out of time, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I didn't know that, and that should be stated. So, Tom, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Cookie.
All right,
You're a dear friend.
I'll see you on the 28th, and then on the 20th, November.
Yep.
With the help of God, for the to watch all the action that goes on down there, and it's wonderful. They are all smiles to people, and they wait in line for 2 to 3 hours in any kind of weather for this. So this is how much it's needed.
Yeah, I also want to thank, I can't believe I forgot this, the Boston Police Department.
Oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
They just, Bobby, Luongo and all those guys, and they make the line feel so secure, and they're so friendly, and they just do a tremendous job that day.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I do have to wrap up.
All
I
right.
just got the sign. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hope you come back soon.
Me too.
Or with another book. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching us, and I hope that you can help Harvest on Vine this year. Give these needy families a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. So with that, I'm closing up, and I want to remind all of you, dear friends, take care of one another. Goodbye.
There is nothing quite so rare as a townie in City Square. Why not bring back City Square? Lots of action there. There was nothing quite so fair as Dot's Diner in City